What's up? What's going on, Shinobi? Kamu style. Welcome to the Dojo Season 12 tier list for Farlight 84. Let's get it. Alright, so to start things off, we have Beau, right? So this season, he just recently got a buff on his grenades. And honestly, it made him go from being one of the worst heroes in the game to being not really the best, but just an overall more balanced and better hero. So his grenades, I don't know how much they used to do, but it was negligible. It wasn't even worth mentioning. But now his ultimate can actually kill somebody, and his tactical can actually do some good damage. So I think they do like 50 a piece, his tactical, and then the ultimate does probably like 98 on the first explosion. So this dude is cracking, this dude is packing a punch. Now, what I say that he's A tier or a sensei, I wouldn't say that he's a sensei simply because he doesn't really offer much to the team. But if I was doing this strictly based off of an attack hero, he would definitely be a sensei because his ability is rather formidable. But for overall everything included, team play, ability, and how easy it is to use him, I'm gonna say that he's just a senpai. Next up we have Maggie. So this season she got a nerf, but I don't even think it's that big of a nerf, honestly. So she's an overall good attack hero. She's everything that you want an attack hero to be. Now she has a tactical role. I think she had that last season as well. So yeah, she has a tactical role, and that reloads the gun after you reload. Beau just has the extended mag on any ARs that he's using, which is extremely good, by the way, because this is like AK and Jupiter meta with M4 as well. So ARs are definitely where it's at right now. But for Maggie, she's just an overall good hero. You can escape any situation with her. She's like, every time I have to deal with a Maggie, she's like very slimy. She's very slimy. So if you're a good Maggie, you can basically get away from any situation if you have your ultimate available. And you have to be careful of her tactical role, since that's very dangerous. So she's definitely a sensei for sure. But something else I gotta say about Maggie though, she's not really like a super high A tier sensei. So you'll see later on she's gonna be like further back than what she normally would have been in the previous season. Momoi, the cutest hero in the game. So she hasn't really gotten much of a promising buff. Well, now she doesn't have to at least stand right by her ultimate ability. She can legit walk away and it's still gonna get placed down in the same spot to where she has it. It's like a remote control access thing. So she doesn't have to be exactly where she wants to drop the airdrop. But then she only has her tactical smoke, which can damage the enemies, and her passive ability is the faster healing time. So that still remains extremely good for the team. Like I would choose a Momoi on my team any day over a Beau, simply because she offers more to the team. So she may not be an attack hero. She's definitely gonna lose a 1v1 to Beau, but she's just an overall better hero. She's not just niche specific to only, oh, she's only good for attacking like Beau is. She can do for team, and she can do something of a little attack and a little bit of defense with her care package, but that's situational. So recently I've started using this witch right here, this black magic sorcerer. She is extremely good, yo. So she's not only an attack hero, but she's extremely good for team play, especially when she's paired up with a Syfer and an Ember, right? So they have like that area effect type thing that can help everybody out on the team. And if you're playing solo, she's good for solos as well because her black hole ability. And not to add her tactical ability, which is a Molotov, which can go through floors sometimes. It's kind of weird, and go through walls. So she honestly is worthy of being a kami above all these other heroes. If you want to choose an attack hero and you want to be good for your team, I would strongly recommend using the Lucinda. So and shotguns are extremely good now. So I personally don't like the Fanatic as much, but if you're using the Hound and you're using Lucinda, if you're a solid shotgun player, yo, definitely use Lucinda. She's just overall a solid hero in every regard. So she's definitely one of our first kami heroes on the list. It's a few others. Well, a couple others that I'm gonna add later on. This season, Yong has grown into a full-grown man. His tactical ability went from being the spring pad from like Sunil has to like a tunnel vision type effect on your enemies, right? And it is extremely good. So this dude is the epitome. He is the epitome of a scout hero. So with his tactical, not only can he block the vision or like reduce the vision of the enemies that he affects inside the radius. I'm gonna explain how that works in a little bit. But not only can he affect the radius in which the enemies can see, he also scans them at the same time. So like it's like a little tunnel thing. It's like a little railway thing that he shoots out, and it affects the enemy. It affects any enemies within the radius of that. So like if you can shoot it through a wall, and it can scan them through the wall and hit them with the vision reducer. So as I said a second ago, how that works is like you can't just hit them with that and then their vision is reduced. It's like a lingering effect. So after you hit them with his tactical ability, you have to either you, so the Yong or his teammate, either you or his teammate has to shoot the enemy. Then that's what triggers and activates his tactical ability. So it's not just like, well, I hit them with my tactical, it should have worked. No, you have to shoot them. Either you or your teammate has to shoot them in order for his tactical ability to work. So it's a really dope concept, honestly. So the devs, they did good on that one. So I don't remember where I had this guy at last time. I think I had him like a low senpai or like a kawaii. This dude is definitely a sensei. With that rework, yo, he's dangerous. If you've ever been caught inside of his tactical, you're kind of screwed, right? Especially imagine being stuck in this guy's tactical and in an Ember's ult. You legit just can't see even more. You can't do anything. You're screwed. That's all she wrote. And not to add, and I have to add this part, of course. So I kind of want to put him in as a kami. But he just doesn't, he would be like a candidate to put as a kami because his overall thing is just recon. And that is extremely good. And he can help out the team in a variety of ways. So now I want a Yong on my team. If you don't want a Yong on your team, you're still Yong-minded because he is OP. He is definitely OP. And with his ultimate ability, he can now, well not now, but his ultimate ability, he can scan a super large radius. Super large, and it stays and scans the enemy for a very long time. So this guy is just a serious threat overall. I may end up moving him to kami later on, but for right now he's a certified sensei. Watchman. Out of everybody on this list, this guy definitely has the best passive in the entire game. So like if you start shooting at Watchman, he has like a little kinetic shield that pops up and it reduces some of the damage that he takes. So I've been using a Uzi lately, and I've been one-clipping people with it. But you cannot one-clip a Watchman with it because the shield comes up and it like reduces the damage and it interferes. It's like a wall. It puts a wall between you and him. So that's already making him a senpai, right? That puts him in this category already automatically with just his passive. Now his tactical, he deploys like a little shield. It's like a little shield wall thing, majiggy. And it's definitely better than Captain's Dome in terms of durability. In terms of durability, it's better. So that already is going to make him better than the Captain. And then he has his ultimate ability. Oh my gosh, his turret. That thing is basically immortal. So if you want to get rid of a Watchman's turret, the best thing to do is just kill the Watchman completely. I'm not talking about knocking him on his knees. I mean, like, you have to like knock him on his knees and then completely like end this guy, end his whole career, because that turret is extremely dangerous. Now he's honestly worthy of being like a low tier sensei or an extremely high tier senpai, because he can not only he could be used for solos. He could be used to like solo squad. It would be kind of complicated because you got to play a bit campy a little bit because he's like a defensive hero. But as of now, I'm just gonna leave him here. As of now, I'm gonna leave him here. MKR. This guy has come a long way from being one of the best to not the worst. So I feel sorry for all the MKR mains out there, because I'm finna end this guy's whole career. Oh wait, his tactical. So I just made a guide on this guy on his tactical. I did a lot of math for that, and now they just reworked. They didn't rework it. They buffed it. So now instead of shooting 6, he shoots either 9 or 12 rockets now for his tactical ability, and it does like 70, I think, per rocket that you hit, if I'm not mistaken. And so that makes him really good, right? And then he has his ultimate ability, which is to legit go up into the sky, fly very high, and you can reposition or get out of zone very quickly with this guy's ultimate. And that is a very, very useful skill in this season, honestly. So, would I say that he's better than a Beau? In a one-on-one fight, Beau would lose. I mean, Beau would win. I'm tripping. Beau would win. But overall, you can use this guy. His ultimate ability is really what just puts him ahead of those two. Now, and he's also a very good recon hero as well. But he's not as good as Yong. Not nearly as good as Yong. So while you're in the sky and skydiving, you can use this guy to see where the enemy's location is. Basically, you're stalking your prey like a hawk or an eagle. So he's very formidable. But now, would I say that it's worth being better than a Watchman? Yes, because it can help the team out tremendously. So that whole repositioning thing is worthy of being a very high senpai. You feel me? And now we have a medic, Ceanna. So she, considering her ultimate ability, right? Her ultimate ability can heal your entire team when she's not even by you, right? She's not even by you and she can heal her entire team. Now, would I say that makes her a sensei? No, but it does make her a senpai. And on top of that, she can revive the entire team while they're all knocked. Now to get this pulled off is pretty hard, because usually after your teammate is knocked, they get finished, especially if the enemy know that they have a Ceanna on their team. So if I see a Ceanna and I know that she's on a team with other players, I'm gonna definitely finish off everybody. Nobody's getting knocked and staying knocked. You're gonna get finished, because her ultimate ability is gonna revive them, and that's dangerous, because you can just turn your back on the enemy, they get rezzed, and then they shoot you in the back while you're shooting the Ceanna, and then it just turns into a bloody mess. So it's just not worth the hassle. So her ultimate ability honestly puts her as a sensei, a low tier. So she's gonna be like a low tier sensei or a high tier senpai. But that would be injustice to put her above MKR. But then again, that would be a nice. These two would be kind of complicated to compare to each other, honestly. But then she has her tactical, which is that recon, not recon, but the healing station. So that you can just plant that down and get some good healing to you. And now her healing actually heals faster. So she's just a very good medic overall. Now her usability, she's definitely better than a Momoi in terms of what she can offer to the team. So if you have a super good Ceanna and a super good Momoi, I think that I'd rather have a Ceanna, because she can help out the team in a very nice way. She's like a combat medic basically. And on top of that, her passive ability, you can heal your knocked teammates way faster. So even if you don't have your drone, she's still gonna heal the man. She's very dangerous. She's definitely worthy of being a sensei, because she just offers so much to the team. Now, I've never seen a good Ceanna before. Usually like the newer players tend to use her, but low-key, I may start using her just so y'all can see the potential that she has. So that's possibly what I may do. I'm not gonna put my word on that, but that's just possibly what I may do. Now we have the captain. Honestly, I don't know. He doesn't live up to his name, unfortunately. He's just a guy. His water hose ability is good, but when you try to cancel it and you don't want to use it anymore, it takes forever to put up, and it just ain't it. Now his dome ability, right? His dome ability sucks. It's good because you can just pop it and it's like boom, it's down, but it breaks so easily. They definitely need to buff the amount of damage that his shield can take, because otherwise he only has his water hose, and then but his passive ability reduces the amount of area damage that he takes, and that only works really on MKR from what I remember testing. So it reduces the damage, but not by that much, but it's a reasonable amount. And I can't really say that he's better than a Beau. Captain is plummeted. His ultimate ability is the water hose, which is extremely good only at close range. So all you got to do really is just jetpack out of that, and then he's gonna try to jetpack after you, but you should be able to beam him by that point. And his dome is still weak, so somebody has to be kawaii, and it can't be Beau, because his grenades deal tremendous. Beau's grenade alone can destroy Captain's dome, and that just ain't it. So Captain is gonna be kawaii. Now we have the most elegant girl in the game being Phantom. she's a recon hero, so she can throw out her scan, which is nice. But the thing that makes her so good is not her passive ability with the snipers that does extra damage for headshots. It's the fact that this girl can legit go invisible completely. And you can literally just stand there in the middle of the field, in the middle of a building, and if the enemy does not have a recon hero, you're immortal. Unless somebody shoots you on accident, but the chances of that happening is very low, but it's possible. But the fact that she can go invisible and not be seen and just be there makes her a Kami. Now the real competition comes in with her versus a Lucinda. Now the reason I'm gonna have to put Phantom ahead of Lucinda is simply because Lucinda doesn't have a recon. Now if Lucinda had a recon where she can undo Phantom's ability, ultimate ability, then now that would be super dangerous. And oh, forgot about that, she can also make her whole team invisible. Yeah, so that helps out the whole team, and you're all invisible, and she can throw the recon out, so she's just a triple threat, a very dangerous threat. So if you're using a Maggie, a Ceanna, a Beau, a Momoi, a Watchman, an MKR, like you cannot detect the Phantom. You know she's there, but you don't know where, and that's what makes her a Kami hero. And then there's Sunil. They need to do something with my boy. He used to be one of my favorites. His ultimate ability boosts the amount of increases the amount of damage you can deal with the gun that you're using, not by much, probably like 1 or 2. It's reasonable, and it increases the movement speed of him and his teammates within a certain, you have to be like around him though, like within his certain radius. So he helps out the whole team. That's just a plus already. But they need to make him faster or do something more, because his ability doesn't last long enough to even do anything. It's just like it starts, and then by the time you start running around trying to get everybody, like, it's over. His ultimate ability is over. So, but then again, he has his passive, which is a jump pad, which everybody and their mothers can use. So him, them, her, them, him, all of them can use his bounce pad, so they can just easily chase after him. But his passive ability is nice. So if you like strafing, just side to side, no jumping, no crouch spamming, none of that, he's perfect for that, because he increases the movement speed while he's shooting. But they need to do something with him. He's just not that good, not as good as he used to be. So he's just gonna be a kawaii hero out of everybody here. Next up, we have the mad scientist, Ember. His ultimate ability speaks for itself. If you get caught up in that and you're out of jetpacks, you're basically dead, right? So, and then he also can see through smoke. So he can see through her smoke, he can see through his smoke. Oh, that's all the heroes that only have smoke. Yeah, so he can see through smoke, which is extremely good, right? It's basically like a recon in a way if you use it in that way. And it can deal damage. So that already takes him ahead of her, because his black hole ability. What's his passive? Oh yeah, he can see through the smoke. That's what that is. And then his tactical ability is the smoke. So I'm so glad that they buffed Yong though, honestly, because now Ember is after Yong, because he basically does like a little bit. He basically has a lingering effect of his black hole on everybody else. It's like them little things they put on horses, like the tunnel vision. So he basically is like the son of what Ember's ultimate can do. So that already speaks for itself. But Ember definitely could beat a Maggie, Ceanna, all of them. He can catch his ones with all of them. Well, Beau, he would probably lose his ones against the Beau, because that grenade really does some serious damage. Yeah, that don't sit well with me. I can't just keep Beau behind Momoi, because they really buffed him pretty good. They buffed him pretty good. I need to see if his grenades can take out a Watchman's turret on its own. Now, if it can, that's gonna put him above a Watchman. But yeah, I can't just keep him behind a Momoi. That just ain't gonna be right. Now we have Ducksyde. So Ducksyde, man, they need to stop buffing this guy. They need to stop buffing him, because his wrecking ball already reduces the amount of damage he can take tremendously. I shot him with a bar the other day, a bar 95. While he was in his wrecking ball state, it only did 24 damage. So now they actually even increased the speed in which he can roll away, making him basically an attack hero but with defensive abilities. and he has his little shield thing. So if you put up his ultimate ability, the shield, and you use his tactical ability, and if you incorporate the fact that his passive ability you want every once in a while, so like almost every other healing thing, when you use one of the single shells that restores one shield cell thing. So if you have 6 bars, it only heals one of the 6, not the one where it heals your health completely, but just the one cell, the single cell that can heal 2 every once in a while. So that, honestly, this guy he's a tank. He's a tank. So even if he does get caught up in an Ember's ult, it doesn't matter. It does not matter if he gets caught up in his ultimate, because he can just roll away or just put up his shield, and he can just literally he can sit there and tank the damage just because he can. So that puts him ahead of the Ember and the Maggie and the Ceanna. He can catch his ones with anybody on this list. The only thing I don't like about him is how big he is. He takes up some of the screen, and it reduces, like, I can barely see the enemy that I'm shooting at. So you got to shoot them from like a side angle. But the only reason he's not getting put in front of Yong is simply because he doesn't help out the team like Yong can. So he can put up his shield barrier thing. His toes are still on the table to get shot off, but he can move with his whole team. So if you have mics on, y'all can all get like behind the Ducksyde, and you'll be fine. But once his shield breaks, it's just like free game. But it takes a while to break this guy's shield. So he just can't do as much for the team as a Yong can. And I saved the best for last. My favorite hero in the entire game. I'm not being biased when I say this. She a recon hero. She can be used like an attack hero. She can use her EMP like a defensive hero. And she reloads SMGs faster, but it's only about 0.14 milliseconds. But that already puts her ahead of here. This girl can disable every single one of their ultimates. Every single one of them. She can do the recon at closer ranges. She can throw an EMP, which now does damage upon throwing it. So like it does about 50 damage on its initial throw, or something within that proximity. So probably like 30 to 50 damage when she first throws it. Depends on your level. She does continuous damage with her EMP. So she can disable her ultimate, and she can stop her from using her ultimate. And even if she does use her ultimate, she can just scan. Now you can see her. Now you see me, now you don't. So she is the best hero in the entire game right now, and she's been getting more hype, fortunately. But I just want them to give her a new skin. This is the way of the dojo. Peace.